Good evening. Thank you for tuning in for this episode of the Nightstalker podcast. Just a quick disclaimer, this podcast sometimes deals with adult topics like violence and religious content that may be offensive for some. Thank you for listening, my dudes, and let's just get right into it. Good evening, and welcome to the Nightstalker podcast. I am your host, the Nightstalker.
And I am the professor.
How was your Thanksgiving, Professor?
There was a lot of food.
A
lot of food.
Do you guys have lumpia on Thanksgiving?
Actually, we didn't this year.
Really?
Yeah, because the adults are usually the ones that are like, oh, let's bring our cultural foods to every party.
Mm-hmm.
But this year, it was literally just me and my cousins and sister. We were like, hey, we should hang out for Thanksgiving. Let's bring food.
Oh, okay. And there was just... Now, did you guys cook anything, or...?
Oh, yeah, we cooked.
Oh, okay.
But we just didn't... Wait, never mind, I lied. There was lumpia.
And you didn't bring me any leftovers?
It was gone by the time I left the party.
You know what? I can see why that would happen.
So, first episode of December.
Yeah, welcome to December, end of the year. We're going into 2020. Seems kind of weird, right? Didn't this year just fly by?
Right? I read that we won't be saying the word teen whenever we say the year until like 2113.
2113. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's to say if the world survives that long. So who knows, guys? This might be the last time someone says teen in a year. So enjoy it.
We haven't been able to record in like a really long time.
Yeah, for anyone who's been following and been wondering what happened to those guys, let's put some rumors to rest. No, we did not have an argument and stop the show. No, I did not go hunting and never came back. Or cord broke.
Yeah.
That's literally it. Or cord broke.
The most mundane thing, the cord connecting the microphone to the computer broke.
Yeah, funny story about it, when I got the mic and the cord was kind of bent where it plugs in, and I just thought that was the design because it's still plugged in, so I was like, oh, that's weird, I guess Blue has like a weird type of setup, and then like we're trying to record and we're like jiggling the wire to like make it stay, and then it just didn't work. And then we figured, oh, okay, let's go to Fry's, Best Buy, maybe Guitar Center, and none of these places have the cord.
Amazon, baby, taking over the world.
Pretty much. I mean, they shipped it, like, next day, so can't beat that.
And then it was Thanksgiving, and everyone was busy.
Yeah, I had to cook for my whole family on Thanksgiving, because my folks were sick. And actually, I lied. My sister cooked one dish. She cooked mac and cheese.
Nice.
Yes. Night sister cooked mac and cheese.
Speaking of Thanksgiving, did you get into like a food coma at all?
Me? You know what? Kind of. I mean, I ate pretty well, and then I went to some friends afterwards, and they were like, do you want to eat? And I was like, no. And then they offered some like ice cream tiramisu cake. So I was like, yeah, I'll take a slice. And after I had that slice, I was like just sitting there like playing this board game, like, I'm ready to go to sleep.
Speaking of sleep, you know what accompanies sleep?
What?
Dreams.
Oh, yes, dreams. What is a dream?
I don't know, can you tell me?
Well, I mean, scientifically, a dream takes place during REM, not the band. It stands for, Okay, that freaked me out for a second. Look, there's a cat outside the back door. That freaked me out for a second. I was about to be like, hey, Professor, I think the monsters have come a-knocking. That cat literally looks like it wants in, too.
Right?
It's looking right at me.
Are you going to open the door?
Do you want me to?
Could be a vampire. A vampire cat.
I mean, it's looking right at me. I'm going to go for it. Let's see what happens. I bet it's going to run as soon as I get to the door. Cutie.
Please hold while we have some
technical difficulties.
Feline difficulties.
Hey, cat. Nope, ran away. Told you. Because, so this cat's black and white, but mainly white on its chest, and I saw it walking towards the door, and I just kind of had a brief moment of like, yo, what's happening?
Anyways, close the blinds and pretend nothing ever happened.
my broken blinds where it's like half and half.
Anyway, REM stands for rapid eye movement, yes?
Yes, rapid eye movement. This happens when you're asleep. I don't know if it happens the second you're technically unconscious or when. I'm not a doctor. I just know that that's when your dreams occur, though. They happen during rapid eye movement, during your sleep. And then when you do dream, you have 3 main chemicals in your brain during that time. The first one is acetylcholine.
Acetylcholine.
I like how you knew exactly what I meant. So this is like the main dream chemical. It's just the main active chemical when you're dreaming. The other one that's present is melatonin, which is the quote-unquote sleep chemical. So when you're asleep, whether I think you're dreaming or not, when you're asleep, this chemical, it regulates your blood pressure, and it also regulates your day and night cycles of sleeping and like being awake. So that's also very present when you're like dreaming and sleeping, because that's how your body just kind of goes on autopilot. And then the last chemical is oxytocin.
Oxytocin.
Oxytocin, that's it. They call this the love hormone. So pretty much this hormone, it heightens feelings of trust, empathy, and dependence, and like social feelings. Not to get too NSFW, but it is a release during intercourse. So that's why they call it making love, because that chemical is usually present. And it makes you feel really attached with the people, or with the person you're with during that time. But also
with the people.
we ain't gonna get into that. Although, true story, it probably is released if you're hanging out with friends and having a good time. Mm-hmm. Let's be honest.
Anything that stimulates pleasure, they release oxytocin.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
So, even if you're just having fun playing a video game, you think that's released?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it's just the I'm feeling good hormone. So yeah, that's pretty much all I found out scientifically about it. That is what a dream is. It's all those chemicals mixed together. But the real question is what is the deeper meaning of a dream? What do you think, Professor? Like, what's some of the most common dreams a lot of us might have?
It's really interesting because everyone has their each unique dreams,
mm-hmm.
but there's a lot of things in common that a lot of people share when they dream.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, if you're dreaming and you're looking for something but you just can't find it,
mm-hmm.
like you're missing something,
mm-hmm.
it symbolized that you've had a missed opportunity in life and that you're feeling frustrated.
Really?
Yeah. So that's a pretty common one. Another one is being chased.
Oh, yeah.
When you're dreaming and then suddenly you just want to run away because someone is chasing after you, but you don't know what.
Mm-hmm.
That I've read in my research. That is a sign that you're facing a troubling situation.
Mm-hmm.
And your brain or your body is basically telling you that you need to face it. That you just can't keep running away because that's useless.
I was going to say, is that why when you go to run, you're like either running in place, like you're not moving, or you're running like through jello, and
Mm-hmm.
you're just like moving hecka slow, and you're just like,
I think another reason for that is because when you're sleeping and you're being chased and you're trying to run away, you're actually trying to move your physical body, but there's a disconnect between your dreaming and actually moving your body.
Mm-hmm.
So your body feels sluggish even though your mind is literally racing.
Yeah.
Another really common dream,
mm-hmm.
of course, is the flying dream. Flying
My
without
favorite.
wings, flying with wings, or whatever, just flying in general.
My personal favorite.
It's actually a escapist fantasy. That there's an issue that you have and you just want to let go of it.
Really?
Yeah.
For me, it's probably work, and now that I'm thinking about it, because I either dream of flying or I at least can jump really high. Like I could have like dreams where I can like in one jump to like the roof of the house and then jump from there, and I'm a good like 50 feet in the air.
Kind of like the Hulk.
Yeah, like the Hulk or Superman before he really knows how to fly. But it never. Sometimes I'm able to maintain it, and that's where I always have that. I'm trying to maintain my flight, but it never really works. I start to go down really slowly, so it's like I try to like kick in the air to stay up longer.
Funny story. I remember a dream. You've played Mario before, right? Like Mario 64.
You know what? I don't think I played 64, but I've played the original. I played like Super Mario World.
So you probably already know this mechanic in the Mario games, but when you triple jump, you jump and then a little bit higher, and then you triple jump like really high.
Yeah.
Usually all of my dreams that involve flying or jumping really high requires me to do a triple jump.
Interesting.
Yeah. Speaking of what you said earlier, falling like slowly, there's also a really common dream of falling from a great height, except you're kind of plummeting. And that means that you're feeling insecure about something.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not saying this to sound cool or anything, but I don't think I've really had dreams where I'm like falling without wanting to fall. I've had dreams where I've taken dives off something.
Even like when you suddenly like feel that drop in your stomach and you wake up immediately.
Oh, yes, but I never really have that in a dream. I have it when I'm going to sleep. Like, I've had where it's like I'm just about to be unconscious, and then it's like my stomach drops, and now I'm awake. I'm like, what the heck just happened? And I'm like, great, now I gotta start over again.
Progress is back to zero.
Back to square one.
And lastly, there's being naked in public. And that means that you have feelings of vulnerability and anxiety about something.
Yeah, that I've had a lot of being naked at
like
school. Or in my underwear.
Like a new situation has occurred, like you have a new job, or you have to do a report and you're just feeling anxious about it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone has had that dream. And it always sucks too when you have it, because like it's always in a place you don't want to be, like school or work. You're just like, oh, crap, I forgot my pants again.
And another dream that's related to school and work, there's the being late for something dream.
Oh, yeah. I have had a lot of late for work dreams.
That means that you're overwhelmed and doing too much.
Yeah, that's probably really true in my case.
So yeah, we talked about not being able to run. Actually, from my research, it said that when you can't run in a dream, that means you have low self-esteem, you lack confidence, and you feel powerless.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense, because like you're trying to do something, but you just can't do it.
Yeah.
No matter how hard you try.
I'm trying to remember the Linkin Park lyrics.
Oh, and this is pretty interesting. Dreams of the dead. Ooh. Where you see like a recently dead relative or a long dead relative.
Yeah.
A lot of, I wouldn't say reports, like scientific reports, because it's kind of subjective here.
Yeah.
But a lot of people say that when you have that dream, it could be that someone in your life may have a negative influence on you.
Really?
And the dead are trying to warn you about it. Or you might need to resolve feelings that are related to the dead person.
Right. Like a family member that you might not have been on good terms with passes away, maybe you dream about them. I feel it. I never had a dream like that. No, I can see where it comes from. And I think that's what's interesting about dreams is like you can't really put a scientific label on them. It really is all subjective. You know, like you can't a scientist just can't tell you, oh yeah, this dream means that right away, because it's like, well, what if someone didn't like that dream experience, but maybe I like that dream experience? You know, it doesn't matter what it is.
It goes to show how truly complex the body is.
Especially the mind.
You just have like a couple chemicals running through your brain, and then suddenly you have this whole world in front of you that you're like basically experiencing.
You know, one of the best dreams I ever had, I don't know if I was lucid dreaming. I think I should explain what lucid dreaming is for those who don't know.
I have one last dream.
Okay, go for it.
This is pretty self-explanatory, but the dream where you really need to pee.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's exactly what it sounds like. You just really need to pee.
Dude, it always kind of freaks me out waking up from one of those because I've had it where, you're just in your dream and it's just like, oh, I gotta use the restroom. So, you go and use the restroom. Well, then you wake up and you're just like, oh no, did I use the restroom? Luckily, I'm being 100% honest, I have not. But, like, it always freaks me out because I literally feel like I'm doing it, and then I wake up like, oh no, and then I'm just like, okay, I'm good. And then I go use the restroom.
Like I said, the body is really complex.
It really is.
When you're mature enough, or like when you've matured past being an infant, your body can actually subconsciously control whether you pee or not. So when it knows it's in a situation where it's like, hey, peeing is bad, then it will not release.
Okay, I have a question then. You might know this being you're in the medical field. So you know how, some older folk need like the pens or stuff like that? Is that due to their mind or is that due to their body?
Need the what?
Like the pens, like adult diapers.
Oh, that's because their body, the muscle tone in their body, like the muscle tone in the body kind of shrinks or kind of becomes less useful. So they can't really control a lot of what we could subconsciously control with our bodies. Their urinary sphincter is kind of, not as strong as what it used to be. So even though the body is trying to like keep you from peeing, it's just not able to anymore. It's like wear and tear.
Yeah, just part of getting old. I already got enough gray hairs and I'm not even like old.
Right? My sister found I won't say how many strands of gray hair on my head.
Oh, on yours?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm pretty sure I got you beat though. Like you can see the one that's sticking out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where I'm at. I'm at the point now you can look at me and go, "Oh, you have gray hair."
But I'm kind of resolved in that if I do gain a full head of gray hair, I won't dye it or anything.
Same here.
Like, I'm just gonna face reality and be like, yeah, I got gray hair.
Well, I mean, two things for me. One, if I go gray, I'm not dyeing it. I've never dyed my hair, so if I look like an anime character when I'm 30, oh well. But, another thing, I'd rather take all gray tomorrow than balding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will gladly take all gray tomorrow versus balding. But, there was something I was about to talk about and I totally slipped on it.
Lucid dreaming.
Lucid dreaming.
Lucid dreaming.
Lucid dreaming. So, lucid dreaming.
What is lucid dreaming?
So, pretty much lucid dreaming is where the dreamer realizes they're in a dream and now has control over how the dream plays out. So, I was going to get into one of the better dreams I had was, the reason I found it so cool is because, like, this dream was, like, it took place here, but there was, like, flying mountains with, like, cities on them, like Bioshock Infinite status, and I was jumping from here, like, from rock to these floating rocks, and I mean jumping, like, distances, and I could feel, like, the wind pressure on me just... And it was one of the best dreams I ever had, but it was also massive in my mind. I mean, like, I literally saw, like, Sacramento... Oh, I guess gave away where we live.
I can blur it out.
Leave it. Hashtag find out the Nightstalker's location. No. So, like, it went from, like, the city, and then I was jumping, and now there's, like, another, like, part of the city on this flying rock. And, it was just really cool. But the thing was, I was aware. I was dreaming. So I had full control of my jumps this time around. Like, I've had it where I try, like... It's weird, like, I've had dreams where it's like, I know I'm dreaming, and I'm trying to push it, but I can't, like, flying, for example, I'm like, I know I'm dreaming, and I'm, like, trying to get the most out of it, but I can't. This dream, I had real control. I was able to, like, control that, and then, this was during high school, I showed up to a class. This is really funny talking about this in person, because you were in it. I got to the classroom.
Oh, shit.
And I get to the classroom, and this sounds so stupid now. I get to the classroom. I see you through the door. It was our history class junior year. I see you through the door, and because I have control, I'm just like, you know what? I'm not late. And my existence to the class doesn't matter. The teacher doesn't even need to know I'm out here. So through the door, you or not through the door, but you open the door, and I ask you to send out this one student who I had maybe a crush on, and you sent her out, and I just asked her out. And her dialogue was the funniest thing I ever heard in the dream. She literally, like, I think this is still word for word, was like, wait a minute, you show up to class late and then you ask me out when we should be in class? Yeah, sure, when you want to pick me up. and then, like, it ended, like, after that. But, like, it was just so funny how that was, like, the one dream I can say everything went my way.
Who was it? Was it... Was it?
Yeah! Oh, man.
Gestures behind the microphone, they are powerful.
Yeah. We don't need to go into what the gesture was, but yes. But, no, lucid dreaming, though, is where you have control, and I have to really say it's probably the only dream I've really had full control over. How about you? Like, have you ever had, like, a true lucid dream?
I don't think I've ever had a truly lucid dream. Like, in all honesty, I'm kind of scared to lucid dream.
Yeah, I was about to get into that. There's people who, like, can do it. It's like this weird process of almost like being asleep without being asleep.
Sleep paralysis.
Yeah. Now, me, I had it by total, I didn't even plan on it. I just went to bed, and then, like, I had it, and I was just like, whoa, I'm in full control of my dream. But, like, I would never try to replicate it.
Yeah.
Because I've heard a lot of people, you know, it can cause either A, you're in sleep paralysis, or, I mean, a lot of people go, that's the time when something else can invade your body.
Yeah. Because, like, sleep paralysis, in a spiritual sense, is basically your soul leaving your physical body. And, like, you can't interact with it anymore.
Yeah.
So you're kind of just, like, laying there, but you're kind of aware that you can't move.
Yeah.
I remember I had a friend in college. He had problems with sleep paralysis, where just randomly he would just lay still and, like, wake up but be awake and can't move.
Yeah.
And he said it was, like, some of the scariest moments of his life, because you don't really know, like, why that's happening.
Yeah. Have I had, like, real, like, sleep paralysis? I think I have. I just can't recall what I really saw, which I'm actually kind of thankful for. But a buddy of mine told me one time that a friend of his, when he was young, had a sleep paralysis episode where he saw Slender Man, you know, the whole theme. He saw, like, Slender Man outside his window, and he was, like, reaching into the room to get him. But this was before that was even a trend. This is years ago. And then, like, you know, 8 years later, that's when, you know, the whole Slenderman thing came about. And him and his family were like, whoa, because he literally described that. So I wonder how many other people before Slenderman was a fiend had, whether a night terror or sleep paralysis of, like, that whole, like, what is he? He's, like, this really tall guy in a suit with, like, without a face. So I wonder how many people have also kind of had that, like, experience.
That's also another reason why I get really scared when it comes to, like, horror movies and whatnot.
Oh, yeah?
Because, no, for one, when you're sleep paralyzed, there's a chance that you can hallucinate.
Yeah.
Like, one of my sister's friends hallucinated that Chucky, the little doll thing, was literally standing over them.
Ooh.
Yeah. And, like, going back to the Slenderman image, I feel like it's a very common description of what you hallucinate on. Like a really tall humanoid figure with a distinct, face. Like a nondescriptive face.
Yeah. No, it's definitely not fun. I mean, I was gonna say, for anyone wondering what a nightmare is, being we're talking about dreams and all, so, like, you know, nightmares, you know, they just come with the territory. You know, they come from our deep subconscious scientifically. And all I can really say of, like, what would make you more likely to have one would be things like, you know, maybe you're stressed, you know, there's maybe some conflict in your life, maybe fear, trauma, emotional problems, illness. And then for a lot of people, medication and drug use is pretty common. I mean, like, not that I don't know why people want to be on drugs anyways, but I mean, you can't be on drugs and have a good night's sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So it comes with the territory of that. But nightmares are different from night terrors in the sense of nightmares do occur during REM, rapid eye movement. Night terrors actually... No, they occur during the same thing, I guess. I guess it's just kind of different in the sense of a nightmare happens more like how a dream plays out, where a night terror is so kind of terrifying that you actually respond with your body. You know, like we were just talking about dreaming, where you're trying to run in your dream, but you can't run, and it's because your body's like chill, but your mind's rapidly running. Your body and your mind are almost in sync, where you could possibly sleepwalk, or you might get up and run.
Yeah, or like yell and thrash around.
Yeah, exactly. I've had a lot of those. I've scared my sister twice. My youngest sister has literally seen like 2 night terror episodes of mine. No, they're stressful, and they say that it's funny. They say night terrors are more common in kids, and I'm just kind of like, I wish that was true. I haven't had any in a long time though, which I'm really thankful for. But you can have a nightmare, wake up, and go, "Whew, that kind of sucked," but you can kind of get back to sleep. Night terrors, I've had night terrors where as soon as I'm up, I turn on a light.
Yeah.
Like, there's no just going back to sleep. It's almost like you close your eyes and whatever was there, you might see again. So it's definitely stressful to have them,
Yeah, for sure. Like, every time I have a night terror, I just don't go back to sleep.
You have night terrors?
Yeah. Well, it's not, like, super common, but when I do...
Oh, okay.
Then I try not to go back to sleep.
Well, I mean, you're talking to me. I've had them, like... Definitely, I think my record has been like 2 or 3 days in a row. I've had just night terrors. It's pretty bad. Definitely when I got my first apartment, there was a week it was really bad to the point where I slept through my alarms and my boss is calling me. So I was like an hour and a half late to work. And my boss, he was like, dude, you look like hell. Like, kind of like asking if I was on drugs or something. I was like, oh, I'm swearing I'm not. I'll take a drug test right now. I just had a really bad 2 nights sleep. And they were like, okay, get some rest this weekend. Like, you don't look good. But that's probably the worst I've had it. But one of my ex-girlfriends, I punched in the back. I had a night terror and I literally slugged her in the back.
Oof.
I punched the wall many times though and I've woken up not because of the dream no more, but because my hand hurts.
Speaking of dreams and all that, did you know that people get multiple dreams a night?
Yeah.
It's just that we don't remember them. Yeah,
I mean, for me personally, it's like I'll be in one dream and it just transitions to a new one. Like, you go from like, oh, I'm at my house, and then without walking out or anything like that, you just transition to being somewhere else or in a car. Now you're with different people. I think they say someone can average 3 to 4 dreams a night.
Yeah. Usually. Which is pretty cool because dreams are basically really fleshed out thoughts.
Yeah.
Like, there's a body receives stimulus through like their eyes, ears, nose, whatever. Mm-hmm. But dreams are literally coming from inside your brain.
Oh, yeah.
And there's no outside stimulus to make it so.
Yeah, I think I have a list. I was a writer. Oh, I mean, not like a paid writer. I wanted to be a writer. Let me rephrase myself. I wanted to be a writer. So I used to, whenever I had like a new idea, I would just write, I had a folder that I would write them down in because I wanted to write movies. So I would just write like a quick like synopsis of what I wanted and then, eventually go from there when I wanted to do a script. I do feel like at least one dream I had, I wrote down right away to make something of it. Because, I mean, it's like it's all fleshed out. It's all right there, You wake up, and as long as you just write it down right away, you're just like, wow, I have a whole plot. Like, right there. It's crazy. I think there was a writer back in the 1800s who did that. He was writing down his dreams, and he'd make, like, I don't know if they were poems or short stories, but they were just based off of his dreams, and the second he woke up, he just wrote it all out.
I remember what was his name? Salvador Dali.
Mm-hmm.
He would actually utilize dreaming to paint.
Really?
Yeah, what he would do is that he would sit in a high back chair and like precariously put a key, like a heavy metal key, in his hand. And when you fall asleep, your body slackens and the key would drop and hit a plate. And when the key would hit the plate, it would break and it would wake him up, and he'd actually like write down or remember what he was gonna be dreaming about at that moment. Yeah.
Huh.
Like the first thoughts that come into his head when he wakes up, he would paint that. That's why you get like the weird paintings like the melting clocks or...
Oh, like the Scream?
Yeah, or the Scream.
Man, that's definitely interesting. I could never be a painter though. I really wish I could sketch, but I can't.
I do too. Like, holy crap. There's so many ideas floating in my mind that I want to draw out.
Yeah.
But I can't because I'm absolute shit at drawing.
Yeah, I wish I could do a self-portrait of myself, but it would look like a stick figure. So, it ain't gonna happen.
Another thing that scares me, going back to the lucid dreaming topic, is that there are ways that you can realize you're lucid dreaming. Mm-hmm. And one of the ways is to either read something that you've read before, because your brain doesn't have total recall. And the ones that do, probably, I don't know, dreams are weird. But you can't like completely recall something in dreams. Mm-hmm. So when you read something, you can be like, oh, hey, that's wrong. I must be in a dream.
Is that like where the whole Inception, you know how they had the totems in the movie to know if ever they were dreaming, like DiCaprio would like spin a top and it would keep spinning, and if Bina doesn't fall, he's like, alright, I'm dreaming.
Yeah. But another way you can figure out you're dreaming, you can look into a reflective surface, and if you look disfigured, you're dreaming.
You're 100% right on that. Unfortunately, I've had a lot of nightmares or night terrors where I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh, that ain't me.
Yeah.
But no, you're right. Even in my just regular dreams, where maybe I'm like trying to comb my hair or brush my teeth or something, and I just kind of know I'm dreaming because like either I got some missing teeth or my hair just doesn't look right, or even my face has been like just kind of mildly distorted.
Yeah.
Like it's not like a bad dream type of way. It's just I'm looking in the mirror. I'm like, I don't look like me.
That's going back to what I said before. You don't have like total recall in a dream. Mm-hmm. So you're trying to see what you look like, but you can't piece it together like completely.
Well, that's so crazy though, because when you dream of, I don't know about you, but when you dream of other people, like whether, like that, I was just talking about my dream and I said you were in it, you looked totally how you looked. You weren't distorted at all. You looked exactly like you.
Well, when you think about it, you yourself, like when you look into a mirror, or like when you look at yourself, that is the most unfamiliar person to you. Yeah. Because you're never able to look at yourself unassisted.
Yeah.
Like, even when you look into a mirror, the directions, like the left and right sides are swapped because it's a mirror.
Yeah.
And, like, you never know what the back of your head looks like, or you never really know, like, how those clothes fit on you.
You know what would be interesting? Like, I'm sure there's only, like, how many primitive places left in the world where maybe they don't have mirrors, something like that. But I was going to say, what if it was, like, you know, someone who raised in, you know, a society, like, you know, regular, but never had access to a mirror, just, you know, never looked in water or anything like that, so they never saw who they were. And, like, one day, like, at the age of 25, you know, someone has a mirror, and they're like, what, you never looked in the mirror? And then showed them. And it was their first time seeing them. I wonder what that would be like.
That would be really trippy.
That would be,
because even, like, if you're not in a primitive society, that can happen. Alzheimer's, where you forget, like, stuff that happens in your daily life. Or even memory loss, like
dementia.
Long-term memory loss. Mm-hmm. People who are afflicted with those things, if they look into a mirror, they don't recognize themselves.
Really?
Yeah. Because they've never, like, seen themselves, like, at that time period.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's... God, once again, getting old sucks.
Right?
But no, I think just as a young person though, like imagine looking in the mirror for the first time, and being like, "Whoa, that's me." That's crazy.
That's why I feel like those movies or those shows that
Mm-hmm.
have a body switching, I don't think they really go with the whole reaction thing properly.
You mean like Face Off with Travolta and Cage?
So maybe.
Well, I mean, like they think about it. I mean, they switch faces and in a weird way bodies, even though it doesn't make sense. But like when they come face to face with each other for the first time, you think maybe both of them for a second would be like, "Whoa, I'm looking at me." You know, but they don't. They just you have really bad monologues and then a lot of shooting.
I think a movie that really took the whole you've suddenly aged and you can't recognize yourself anymore. Even though it's like a really bad comedy movie. You remember the one with not Ben Stiller, what's his name? Click?
Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler. Where he like comes to himself like in the future.
I actually never saw Click.
Oh, you haven't?
I like good movies.
I watched it on a plane. I'm bored. I want to watch a movie.
Well, I mean, like, there's two movies that come to mind right now for me. One of them is Gemini Man that just came out with Will Smith, but I haven't seen it, but I wonder if they touch on that at all. But another one is Looper, where Joseph Gordon-Levitt, he's supposed to be young Bruce Willis, but, like, he sees himself, his future self get sent to him. So it's weird to see, like, whoa, that's me in, like, 20, 30, whatever
I remember that movie.
Yeah. That would be kind of an interesting theme to just come to face with, like, yourself in the future or something.
Or going back in time and seeing yourself being born.
Oh, that'd be trippy.
Yeah.
That'd be trippy. There's a movie that deals with something like that, right? That where it's like the guy goes back in the past.
There should be.
I'm thinking Butterfly Effect, but like he goes in the past to actually I think kill himself because he can't deal with I forget the premise. I know it's like the Butterfly Effect, it's like something changes, so like he keeps going back and forth and like finding different things, and then finally he just gets tired of it, so he goes back to the womb and then like kills himself. It's kind of dark. Like I don't know why they would end it like that. It's kind of like okay, like yikes. There was something else I wanted to touch on though. Was it Night Terrors or? No, I pretty much talked about all nightmares and night terrors. I mean, like, I have a few stories of them. There was one time, I'll never sleep at my brother's. No, it was his old apartment, not his new one. But I was at my brother's apartment. This is before I bought my house. And it was summer, and my parents didn't have AC. And I'm dying, because it's like, I work outside. So I was like, hey, let me crash on your couch for like a week, until it's back in the 90s at least. So I'm on his couch, and it's the second time my sister got to witness me have a night terror and scared her. So I'm sleeping on the couch, and the thing was, when I went to sleep, I never really clicked that I went to sleep, because I felt like I was laying on the couch, and then I got up, and I was looking for them, like, hey, like, where's everyone? And his pantry door opened. There was, like, this really just messed up face in it. And I woke up screaming and scared the crap out of my sister. And what's funny is my sister who lived there even told me, like, yeah, like, we all had the weird thing about that pantry. So I'm like, oh, okay, so it wasn't just me.
It could be a dream about the dead.
I'll describe it. It was like this white face, sunken in eyes. It still had white, like, irises, but, like, the face was you know what it looked like? If you've seen The Exorcist, the original...
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember the demonic face that flashed on screen a few times? It looked just like that.
Oof.
Yeah. Yeah, it looked just like that.
Your brother moved from that apartment, right?
Same complex, different apartment.
Okay.
Yeah. But now my other sister is saying that the new place feels weird. No, same sister. She was watching... When they were out of town, she was, like, house-sitting the bunnies, and she had, like, this weird breeze or something happen. So... I don't know. I'm like, okay, what are you guys doing? Right? I'm gonna call over Nightstalker to exercise a house. Or an apartment.
So I kind of wanted to touch up on this.
Yeah.
We were talking about dreams and night terrors and lucid dreaming.
Yeah.
But what about the complete opposite of that? Where there's just some nights where you just don't dream. You fall asleep and you wake up the next morning.
For me, it's when I'm
Yeah.
dead exhausted. That's the only time it happens. Because it's like, you lay down and you're just out. You're that tired, and it's like you just wake up and you're just like, you've been asleep, because you just wake up and you're like, oh yeah, I guess I've been asleep. Yeah, I've had that.
I remember one time, I was super jet lagged, and I went to sleep, and I woke up the next day, right? Thinking like, oh, everything's okay. Turns out it was the day after that. Like, I slept a full 24, 32 hours.
I don't think I've ever had a sleep that long. I feel like my record was... This is years ago. I mean, I've definitely done a 12-hour sleep before, but that's nothing for me.
I call that a Tuesday.
I call that a potential Saturday. Saturday or going into Sunday. Especially if I stay up late till like 2 a.m. playing games or hanging out with people. No. I let me take that back. I've had it before where I go to bed at midnight and then I can wake up at like noon. I think I've done before, maybe I was sick, but I felt like I've definitely done like a 16 to 18 hours sleep. I think I've actually pulled that off before.
The worst thing about super long sleeps is that you feel so groggy after.
Yeah, you think you feel nice and refreshed. No, you feel like, ugh.
Yeah. Like, it takes a while to just jumpstart your body again.
Yeah, definitely. And then, like, I think for me, I was sick. So, obviously, I was still sick, so I wanted to get back to sleep just to, keep resting. But I slept so long in one period of time, it was like I couldn't. So, I was just, like, sitting there, but it's like I can't do anything. Being we're talking about dreams and stuff, for anyone interested if the Bible mentions anything about dreams, I have a quote. This is from Job 33:14-15. For God speaketh once, ye twice, yet man perceiveth not. In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men, and slumberings upon the bed. Pretty much meaning, God can speak to people through dreams. So, I mean, like, I don't know if anyone has any experiences of that. If so, please give us an email or hit us up on our social media. We would like to know if anyone has had God talk to them through a dream. But yeah, God can speak to you through dreams. I have read, it took some research, that demons can affect your dreams, but only to an extent. So, would I say I've had any demons in my dreams? I don't really think I have. I mean, I've had some dreams where I definitely wake up screaming and stuff, but, like, I don't know, I never felt like once I was up there was, like, this presence in the room, you know what I mean? I mean, I've been in a few places before when I'm like, yo, we shouldn't be here, but, like, I never really had that experience. But if anyone has any of those, once again, please hit us up. I'd be interested to know, like, what they do to you in your dreams. I mean, I was reading about it, so, you gotta take it with a grain of salt unless you have someone give you evidence. But, like, apparently there's limitations to what they can do. So I wonder if that means whether it's harm or,
I think it's more suggestion.
I was gonna say, I feel like it's, like, suggestion or persuasion. But yeah, we'd be interested whether it's a good or bad one. Please let us know. But I like to throw it out there though that there's a biblical meaning to dreams, and the pretty much the meaning is that God can speak to you through your dreams or visions. I had one. Was it this summer or was it last summer? I feel like it was this summer. I had this dream. I was walking with two friends around the block at my parents' house for some reason, and I looked up at the moon. And there was these stars surrounding the moon. And all of a sudden, the stars, like, sank into the moon. And the moon... When I say exploded, I don't mean, like, Michael Bay exploded. I mean, it became like a firework. It just went, like, poof! And then, like, I started being lifted off the ground, but not in, like, a bad way. And then I woke up. But, like, I had this feeling. I was like, that wasn't a bad dream. So I kind of wonder if that was in a way,
Congratulations, you just got anal probed by aliens.
You would turn us there. Okay, you know what? You want to talk about a bad dream? No, it's not anal probing. No, I had a dream one time that I was at my parents' house. I was in my room watching the news of all fiends. And on the news, it was talking about, like, how spaceships have been seen in the sky. They were like, yeah, there's been, you know, this is like the 12th, I think it was like, this is the 12th report of a UFO above a city, blah, blah, blah. And I'm watching it and I'm like, what? Like, really? So I yell up, like, Dad, like, hey, Dad, like, come see this. And all of a sudden, this, like, I was, like, frozen in where I was. And it's like, if I'm looking at the TV, it's like the room had this weird, like, vibration to it. It was going, like as if the room was vibrating. I couldn't move. And there was, like, this really high-pitched noise with, like, some static. And I started to feel like I was being pulled. But I was trying to, like, scream. Like, I was trying to be like, help. That was definitely a bad experience on that one. Yeah. And I used to, as a kid, I had an actual fear of waking up from dreams. Not just waking up from dreams, but you know when you wake up before your alarm goes off, so you kind of wake up like, oh crap, you know, like I'm up like an hour before or whatever. I used to have a bad fear of waking up when I was a kid because I was just afraid when I woke up, if I like turned or anything, there was going to be something right there.
Right?
I had that, and for me it was aliens. I just had this bad fear as a kid that if I'm waking up and I'm not supposed to be up yet, it's because I might be getting abducted. I just had that fear for actually a long time. I wouldn't say I really kicked it until by the end of high school. I think I was like, okay, like, you know, if I wake up, I wake up. So, no, I have had a bad alien dream like that before, and I was pretty afraid of aliens at one time.
What was the name of that one children's storybook full of horrors?
Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark?
Yeah!
Dude, I got that in my shed. I think I got that book.
Dude, I remember being like 4 years old, 5 years old. We got that book from the library, and I was reading it for some reason. And like for years after, there's this one story where if you look at a white wall or something, you can see a face, like a heavily distorted like face. And for years, I would not sleep. And, like, I couldn't turn towards a white wall and just stare at it.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. You know, there's a movie from the 80s called Frighteners. And the poster for the movie is literally just a white wall with, like, this face kind of, like, protruding through, all distorted looking. I haven't seen the movie. I wonder if it has to deal with that.
I'm pretty sure that story came from Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't read it in years because I'm scared. Like, just a lot of things scare me from horror movies and books and whatnot.
I used to be deep into horror. Like, I used to love it. Not so much anymore. Like, I don't know. I've read some articles of, like, not just what horror movie, like, too much exposure to them does. Like, I wouldn't say I like, watch a horror movie and I have a bad dream afterwards. If that was the case, I just wouldn't watch horror movies. No, it's just, for some reason, I just used to like watching them. I feel like part of it was watching if any of the heroes could pull it through. Because my favorite horror series, even though it's not really horror, is the Evil Dead series. Ash Williams is like one of my favorite movie characters of all time. And I think part of it is the fact that he overcame like literal evil in a forest with nothing but a double-barrel shotgun and a chainsaw for a hand. And how much cheese and campy it is. But, I've read now, I mean, like, I know we've kind of hinted that there's stuff going on in Hollywood and we'll do an occult episode one day, but there's some stuff saying that, like, yeah, they put some weird stuff in horror movies, and I think that's why I've kind of backed off it now, because I'm like, I don't want to be subconsciously subjected to something, you know? So I think that's why I backed off, but for years I used to be into it, you know? And I know there was one time I think I even asked you, like, we'll watch a horror movie? You're like, nah, dog, we're not doing that.
Yeah, horror movies are my weakness.
I used to watch them a lot in high school. We used to watch heck of, like, them all the time. Good times. But, I think that's really all I got on my notes.
Me too.
And then, I mean, I'm sure everyone's kind of asking this. what do dreams, quote unquote, symbolize? It's really all up to just how you perceive it. I mean, they're dreams. They come from our subconscious. They could be our true desires or true fears, maybe even prophecies into the future. I mean, there was a lot of people who said they dreamt of 9/11 before 9/11 happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, a dream is just really what you can perceive it as. I mean, I've had some dumb dreams where I'm just driving with a friend and the car breaks down.
Dreams are the product of literally an infinite amount of things you're feeling at that moment, and plus other things.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's really hard to describe, what exactly is a dream.
Yeah, you can't just say, oh, I dreamt this. Like, I had a dream where I had pizza for lunch, so that must mean that I'm going to win the lottery. Like,
I had a dream. All you can eat not mashed potatoes, mac and cheese. It was a great dream.
I was going to say, tell me more. Where is this place?
I woke up from that dream, and I was like, hey, Mom, do we have any mac and cheese? And she's like, no, why? And I'm like,
it's kind of funny thinking about it. I think one of the most common food items in my dreams is chocolate milk. I feel like that's like the most common theme I've seen. I don't know why. I feel like that's like the most common theme I've seen.
Because it's like sweet, chocolatey goodness.
Yeah, true that. And it's comforting. I mean...
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean... If anyone wants to share with us some of their dreams they've had, whether they were really cool, really scary, really good, maybe a prophecy, please let us know on our Instagram, the Nightstalker podcast.
The Nightstalker podcast.
Yeah, or you can email us. You can be anonymous. We can say your name.
You can tweet at us at thenightstalk16.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You gotta love Twitter, taking our name and then be like,
right?
nah, you're this. And then it's just like, hey.
It didn't even tell us, like, oh, your username is too long. It's
yeah, like, hey.
Okay, here's your username now.
Yeah, we could adjust it. And now it's just, like, random, like, Nightstalk16. And it's just like, that's nothing what we would have made it. But yeah, that's all I really got on dreams. You got anything else to add there, Professor?
Nothing on dreams, but I do have a question.
Yeah.
Or just like clarify, what kind of topics does our podcast cover?
I mean, we do cover paranormal. I wouldn't say horror, but like we cover paranormal and like what's that other word? Supernatural stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we are covering a lot of stuff onto that, but I mean, really, we just kind of branch off from like a subject and then just talk.
Yeah, we just choose whatever sounds cool to talk about.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, we're still true to our name. We are quote-unquote paranormal investigators. But, you know what they say, if no one's calling giving us business, then, you know, we can just chill at home.
Right?
But yeah, that's all I got. How about you, Professor? Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Alright, well guys, I mean, thank you for joining us today. More will be coming soon. This is the Nightstalker and the Professor signing off. Good night, and good luck.